Yep. Okay.
Does the door
Thank you,
lock
Judy.
behind us or do we?
Last time we locked it,
Councilmember Hutchins.
you left
Oh.
me a code last time. Actually, Michelle locked it.
Okay. 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 So, okay.
Okay, thank you, Jody. I guess we're on.
Whoa.
We'll try this one first. I don't know. Since it's just us, we can probably hear each other. But do they have these so that it gets recorded better? So, okay.
Yeah, in case one goes out, the other will work,
Hopefully.
theoretically. Should we wait for Brian?
Brian's not coming.
Oh, he's not coming.
No.
I guess I didn't hear that.
Sorry. He sent us a email. You should have
Well,
gotten an email
let's
address.
begin. I'd like to welcome everybody to our Tuesday, January 21st Parks, Trail, and Recreation Committee meeting. And the first item is public comment. And we have no public here to make a comment. Is there anybody online that,
Doesn't look like it.
so there's nobody online listening for public comment, but we are
Dennis, do you
recording.
know Michaela Morris? This is
Hi,
Dennis.
Michaela. I'm Dennis Lisenby. You know everybody else?
Lisby.
Okay, great. So the first item here that we need to discuss is the approval of the minutes of our last meeting. We have a motion to approve.
Yes, I will.
We have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? Then our meetings of the November 19th meeting are approved. Next item, which is, I think, kind of an important thing to get on record here, is the survey that the Development Committee did and the results of that survey and how that
Mm-hmm.
affects us. So, would you like to take that?
Sure. I asked Jody if she had a PDF file, if the city had a PDF that I could share with all of you. And she said she doesn't have one. So I'm gaining the data from the screenshots that I took of Daniel Jensen's presentation to City
Okay.
Council. I think there were 212 individuals who responded. It was only supposed to be one per household. I think there's 300 something households in Woodland Hills. That number I'm not quite sure of.
Mm-hmm.
But 73% felt connected to the community, which I thought was really good.
Yeah.
19% said they would like to be more involved in the community. And I found that interesting from, I think it was our last meeting in November. Brian had conversations with the mayor who said that he'd been getting a lot of community members coming and saying they'd like to volunteer, and how would that work? 19% isn't very much, but perhaps that could be on the volunteer committee with Janet, or that Janet wants over. 58% felt very satisfied or satisfied with recreational opportunities.
58?
Yes, that was most and like 4 and 5 together, 58. Combined most, number 4 or 5, what was it, satisfied and very satisfied or something like that. Would like to see more trails was 42, and then a combination of numbers 4 and 5 on the survey, it was 62%.
62% wanted more trails?
Yes. Do you remember what that category was? Michelle, do you have them up on your?
Yeah.
4 or 5, which was positive response. 0 to 1 was a negative
Yeah.
response.
Yeah, so it's, on the categories, the strongly disagree,
Yeah,
it's strongly disagree, disagree, neutral, agree, and strongly agree.
okay, so.
So is that what you were asking,
Yeah.
Dennis?
Yeah,
I'm giving you agree and strongly disagree. Or
Yeah, so
strongly
she's,
agree.
yeah, so she's giving you, of the 5 levels from strongly
Okay.
disagree to strongly agree, she's giving you 4 and 5, which I think that seems,
Yeah,
so
which
agree and
is
strongly
agree and
strongly
strongly
Okay.
agree.
So satisfied with recreational opportunities, strongly agree, 28%. Agree and strongly agree, 58%. For trails, 42% strongly agree, and 62% agree and strongly agree.
Now that category, we kind of already been over. We really kind of know that making trails, we don't have the space, right?
we don't have the space up here,
Mm-hmm.
but if the city so chooses, they could specify trails down in the new
Yeah,
subdivisions
which
that
I
will
think-
go in.
I think would be a fabulous idea.
And,
Yep.
you know, also,
It's
that's
more
gonna be
level.
higher density housing down there,
Mhm.
which are going to bring in a lot more, you know, young children. Well, what about a little park down there along with the trail?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea.
Well, yes,
So-
some sort of park and green space or something.
Yeah,
And my understanding, the only way to do that is in the development agreement
exactly.
that you have with the developer. We currently do not have a development agreement with Four Seasons. So we've kind of lost that opportunity to connect with, well, we couldn't connect with Sun Creek.
But Four Seasons, it's not like they're on any of, are they in the city limits at all?
Yeah,
Yes,
down by the mailbox,
But-
where all the dirt is piled.
But that's just it, really?
that's
Is
it.
that the only
no,
area?
Four Seasons is. down
Not
by
Four
the State
Seasons,
Center.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
No, I'm
I'm
meaning
sorry.
Three Bridges.
Three Bridges?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking Three Bridges, not Four Seasons.
I am thinking Three Bridges.
they are not,
They do not
In the
have
city.
any property in the city.
no, but
They do. They have a parcel below the mailbox.
Yeah.
That's all.
So that's not like we can do anything with
No.
that. But that property that you're talking that's just on this side of 11200.
yes.
Yeah.
It just got rezoned.
It just got rezoned, so it's zoned for housing all the way from the state center
Mailboxes To the state center.
to the mailbox, that whole area.
Okay, so,
I'm not
and
absolutely
that's
positive.
under city? Who owns that property?
There's a family that owns the majority of it right
Yeah,
now.
there were 3 parcels in there. Jeff looked at this a while ago. I'm not sure how many of those parcels, the owners, whether it was 2 or 3 or all of them, because that property goes up to Summit Creek and also butts up to Four Seasons. So all that empty.
So is there a timeline for when, first of all, is the city planning to do any developmental plan on that property? I mean, they've changed the zoning.
Yes.
Is there somebody who wants to develop it? Or are they getting ready in case somebody does want to development? Or do you know?
I think it's the latter. They're getting ready in case somebody does.
So that would be a good thing to have in place, if the city had that in place before a developer comes in, so that they would know already what is required.
Well, I believe, who's been given a grant? The city's been given a grant to look at trails. Trying to remember who's responsible for that. And I told them PTR's already done that.
Mm-hmm.
And look at the plat map that Janet and I did that we got from the county where we looked at where all
Mhm.
the easements are and where the zoning was, and you'll see, like we've said, there's nothing up here. Canyons are too steep that the city owns to put any kind of trail in there. There just isn't anything.
So,
So it would
But-
have to be future
Yeah.
developments.
and I loved your idea a long time ago when you said that,
Yeah.
Dennis, about putting the trails down there. It's flatter.
Yep.
You know, a lot of people don't like walking on the hills. It
Well,
would
the-
be really great to have even, you know, a walkway that meandered in that area.
Kind
And-
of like we have in the park,
Right,
sort
and-
of.
That would be very attractive to some that would want to do that instead of going up the Switchback Trail, because
Mhm.
we've got kind of a diverse
Well,
group of people, and
yeah,
there's
you
some
can't
now
take
that
a
would love-
stroller up, you know, you can't push your kids along
Right.
the trail up there, Switchback Trail, but if you had a nice paved,
You know, it would be nice if there was I'm just thinking out loud, because we talk about park. Well, if somebody wants to drive down there from up here, if there was a park, a little playground and some parking spaces
Mhm.
at the trailhead, or, you know, we
Yeah.
probably, that would be probably a good
Yeah.
proposal to make.
Yeah. We'll see what, I'm trying to remember who it is, but I did talk to Ted about it. But the plat map was already in there, the PTR already looked at. Okay, paved trail or other pedestrian facilities. Majority, which was 30%, said leave as is. And specifically, I think Woodland Hills Drive was being looked at for that. As far as paving a trail on Woodland Hills Drive,
Uh-huh. On one or the other side,
you'd have to
you'd have to get
snow blow it.
yeah.
Because the
and
city
would you
be
have-
liable if somebody hurt themselves in the winter. And it's too
Very steep.
steep for bicycle. You get wobble going down. So anyway, that was the results from the survey. Additions in the park were pickleball. Pickleball had, I think, 8. So I forget what soccer was. Another playground or more facilities in the playground. Cross-country skiing and mountain biking. Okay, this had to do preserving the night sky. 64% strongly agreed, and 80% agreed and strongly agreed, so it was another 16% that agreed. As far as the city being proactive in doing this, 55% strongly agreed that the city should be proactive, and a combination of agree and strongly agree was 70%, so 15% agreed. So what does PTR conclude from the survey as far as what we're doing? I liked what you said, Dennis.
Yeah. We have their support. Support of the city, it looks like.
Shell, how do you feel?
Yeah, I do. I guess going forward, as we talked about 2 meetings ago or 1 meeting ago, is would we want to do it officially, or can we do Dark Skies unofficially? Remember there was applying for, no, what was it you had to do to be an official?
It's a process, like
Yeah.
applying for a grant.
Mhm.
The first place to start is with the ordinance.
And we do or do not have that.
We've come up with one.
Yeah, right.
It's jumping a wee bit, but I don't mind to do that. PTR will have an update on the wording of the revised lighting ordinance for residential next week
Okay.
on Dark Sky. Their board meeting is Monday. and they are going to discuss our ordinance in relation to it being the first step should we want to proceed and become a dark sky community, get official recognition.
Okay, so that's next Monday on the 27th. Is anybody
here.
able to go to that?
What time?
Oh, I don't know. I
Should
wasn't
one of us be
invited.
there?
I don't
If they
know.
have questions?
I can ask them.
If
Um,
I'm out of town, but if they have questions, should one of us be there?
yeah, maybe we could zoom in. I'll call Daniel and ask him.
So that's the planning commission meeting?
No, that's Dark Sky International,
Oh,
Board
Monday
meeting.
night, they have the board meeting. Oh,
and they are taking
Oh,
our proposed ordinance that we came up with, that we want to present to planning.
okay, I get it.
and
to
they're
their-
gonna look at to,
Yeah,
And give us suggestions.
yes,
Okay,
To
so
see
maybe
if
we
it's a
don't
good-
need,
first step.
okay. So, yeah, do we need to be there or be there or Zoom it?
I can ask
Or would they
Daniel.
email us the suggestions?
I'll ask Daniel.
Okay, what would be the best?
Yeah. Let's see. I got a letter today from planning commissioner that I thought I would like to read. Hi, Sherry. I see you have a PTR meeting tonight. One of the agenda items is a discussion of dark skies to the Planning Commission. I know we discussed this briefly several weeks ago. After thinking about it, my suggestion is to first make the presentation to the City Council. There is little point in making the presentation to the Planning Commission if there is not support for it within the City Council. If they show the support, then they will refer it to the Planning Commission for further study and review and a recommendation back to them on the matter. I would suggest too that in the presentation you detail the changes the city is required to make to our lighting ordinance to make it acceptable to dark skies, if this is critical to the process. Thanks, Wayne. Wayne and I have had several discussions about dark sky. He knows about the new ordinance, which is really what we were going to present to planning is the new ordinance that
Mhm.
night. And we can have support from Dark Skies and also Utah Valley Astronomical Club, Astronomy Club, UVAC. In presenting that ordinance to the City Council, which they do want a new lighting ordinance. They've said this for about a year. They
Yeah.
need to update the ordinance. So I think Wayne's thinking that perhaps we're making a dark sky presentation to planning when it's really just the ordinance with a little bit of support so that planning understands what dark sky is
Mhm.
and what it's not. It's not. Turn the lights on. So how do you feel I should respond to him? My understanding is because it's an ordinance change, it first has to go to planning. And planning looks at it, holds a public hearing. They approve it or not. If they do approve it, then it goes to the City Council for a public hearing and a vote of the City Council. So I think planning is our first step unless Wayne seems to think maybe we should just go direct to the City Council, but I think I have to go through planning. And Brian was going to check on that, but I haven't heard.
So the planning meeting that we're going to go to is on the 28th, right? No?
That's city council,
Oh, that's-
Utah Outdoor Recreation Grant.
Oh, that's right. That's what we're
Yeah.
presenting on that one. Okay. All right. So we didn't have a date on it. Yeah, I'd say let's find out from Brian
Okay.
if which is the order to do.
I'll email Brian tonight or text. So that's kind of where the ordinance, the revised ordinance, which to refresh everybody's memory, it's so many lumens per bulb, so many lumens per acre. Shielding, point it down, unless it's a flagpole, and it's federal law, you can have uplighting. Off by 10:30 p.m., which is in conjunction with disturbing the peace, and no streetlights. The gist of it.
Yeah.
Really, the only change is the no streetlights. And I'm not sure if 10:30 is in the current one or not. I know it's 11 p.m. The city.
Cities has 11 PM.
Oh, and also what's included is that all new constructions submit to
Right.
submit an architectural lighting plan as part of their permit process.
Mm-hmm.
That's new. And I did get a letter from Wayne on that I copied all of you my response to. It would be interesting for you to read through the state statute and see what your opinion is. Wayne was of the opinion that we could not specify an architectural rendering to be compliant with the code because the state code exempts non-structural attachments that are ornamental.
And lighting is that?
He seemed to think so, but the state does not define ornamental, non-architectural structure. There's no definition for them. So when there's no definition, you take the plain definition of each word. And when I think of ornamental, I think of a Christmas tree, an ornament. It's not like people are wanting to put gargoyles up on their garage with lights coming out of their eyes, to be ornamental. This is a fixture over a light bulb. So my opinion was, I didn't see how that applied. I copied you all on the email that Wayne sent to me. Put the state code in there. So just have a look and see what you think. I don't think it applies. He seems to think that it does.
Well, this is the problem. If there isn't something for the architect and the builder and the new homeowner to work with, so that when the home's built and they get their occupancy certificate, that, I think the new ordinance should specify that home needs to go through a lighting test.
It's a way to make the ordinance not compliant. It's a way to enforce the ordinance.
Right.
We've got teeth in the game. We don't have to have Wayne as the ordinance enforcer going around and looking and measuring everybody's lights because it's already been approved
Right.
to get the permit. So we'll see.
When you build a new home, the builder, if you're building it yourself, you're going to choose the lights. You may even purchase those lights. If it's a tract home, they'll give you a
ABC.
certain amount of the money that you paid them, comes back to you and you pick out the lights and
Right.
you have a certain budget, and if you want better lights, you can upgrade. So, we need something in place so there's no surprises when the home's finished, you know? And we have a new home in our neighborhood, in our cul-de-sac. It's all dark sky lighting, it points down.
Right.
So, whoever was the architect built that in. And then they've got Christmas lights built in, and they're wonderful. They're just perfect for Christmas.
Well, I
So-
think it's,
The architect evidently knew what he was
Yeah,
doing, and the homeowners were. But it'd be nice if there's something that the architect and the builder and the homeowner understands when they build a home in Woodland Hills.
well, and for this many people to respond to the survey to
yeah,
say,
that's a lot higher than I thought it would
Yes.
have
we
been.
want
Yeah.
to preserve the night sky. I mean, it's part of who we are up here. Beauty of the heavens.
It is.
So I'm prepared to move forward, really waiting on Dark Sky's opinion about the ordinance. And then we'll take it to planning, get on their agenda, present the ordinance. And a wee bit of background, I think, about Dark Skies, which would be helpful for the planning commission.
Okay. So do you want to take it to the planning commission first or the council first?
Well, we'll ask Brian. I think we'll see what Brian says.
Okay.
I just want to do it the right way.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right.
Yeah, let's do it the right way.
Okay.
So is that it on the survey and the lighting? That was,
Floor's done.
the next item is discussion of the PTR budget.
Yeah, did we finish this survey?
Yeah,
Sherry?
that's all I have.
Okay, all right,
It really pertained to what PTR is working on.
right.
I haven't seen the whole survey. I was going to ask Daniel if he had a PDF to send me one so I could send it out to all of you. See, Daniel is with Sunrise, who this Sunrise Engineering. His name's Daniel Jensen, who the city has employed to help put together the general plan. Now, the general plan for Woodland Hills is a wee bit outdated. And just for your information, know that city ordinances trump the general plan. So the general plan isn't the be-all and the end-all. I wouldn't say it's a wish list, but it kind of, hey, this is the direction we'd like to move. So that's who, when I keep referencing Daniel, that's who I'm talking.
Okay.
Okay, Dennis, I think that's all I've got on lighting,
Okay.
but we do need to do 6
Okay.
and 7. And we've done 8.
Oh, yes, we have not discussed number 6. Grant.
Yeah. The grant has to be filed, I think, by March. Sorry, I'm not as well prepared as I
Did you
should be.
say March? You sent me a.
Is it the 15th?
So the grant we're talking about is, who do we file this with?
Utah Outdoor Recreation.
So it's a grant to take to Utah Outdoor Recreation.
You said the end of March.
Did I? Okay.
That's what you
Maybe it's the
texted me.
24th. Okay.
So it needs to be completed and turned in by March 28th.
I don't
Something
know.
around
Okay, around that general time period. And the grant we would like to write is for pickleball courts and a cement slab next to the picnic area
Mhm.
with the basketball standard.
And possible, did we want to do the walkway, a paved walkway
Yes,
from
and
the
a
parking
walkway from parking
to pavilion?
to the pavilion. Right, yeah, we have a little problem right now because it's not, pavilion does not meet accessibility standards.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to get a wheelchair in there or somebody on a walker.
So I
or
think that's the emphasis
crutches.
that we need to make for that part.
Right,
To go from the parking lot to
Well,
the pavilion?
to the pavilion.
I mean, it's not like that's a great big parking lot that a lot of people would park at,
But,
but it's somewhere.
right, plus we have a way to get from the parking on the road down the trail,
Mm-hmm.
but not from the
From
trail.
the trail, from the parking lot to the
Right,
pavilion.
and, you know, again, I point out that our pavilion does not meet ADA standards.
yeah.
And that's a liability to the city.
Yeah, so I think that's how we
And
should
so-
approach it. What about any, in this grant, did we want to do any upgrade to the playground?
We could.
But I know we also said we wanted to kind of keep it not extravagant.
Focus so that we could do another grant.
Well, this grant pertains to swimming pools, pickleball courts, basketball courts, paved, not paved, new walkways,
Fencing,
fencing,
Bathrooms.
uh,
was it playground? I think it was
Storage.
playground.
Yeah, it was playground. It's a new grant. It's the same people we went through to get the grant for the trail.
Would it be on the playground, for instance? I don't know if we need to start from scratch. Do you think a grant to upgrade the playground? I wonder, or do you think they're just new playgrounds?
The grants don't apply to anything having to do with maintenance. But if it was new equipment,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's one issue with
I mean-
pickleball court. Our playground right now has a certified wood chip. that's
Mhm.
certified for playground use, so you don't get I guess, a sliver or something. But those chips and stuff could end up on pickleball courts. Could cause some problems. If we were able to put down the rubber material and some new equipment to go with that rubber, that would help pickleball situation.
I think our biggest hurdle, I mean, there's a lot of things that we'd like to do, but it's what do we have the money
To match.
to match? I've been trying to get budget figures, and I have not been successful. I asked 3 different people. I know we had 6,000 last year from Summit Creek for the 500 per lot, and not in writing, but verbally, I've asked different city councilmen and the mayor, when the new development comes along that's just been rezoned, and even perhaps 3 bridges, maybe somehow, exchanging tit for tat, however that's all going to shake out, we could ask the same thing, $500 per lot. And we can request from Summit Creek up to $10,000 in advance. So really all we have to work with that I know of right now is 6, possibly 16, if Summit Creek had the money to put 10 grand up front. And if the city wants to do paved walkway or improvements to the playground or anything else, where's the money going to come from? It's going to have to come out of a different line.
Yeah. So maybe we're having to just set the priorities and decide what's our first priority.
Yeah.
And yeah, because you're right, we don't have 50, even close to 50 for a pickleball to pickleball courts,
I will
50%.
be happy to present. It's not gonna have to be a 50% match. And off the top of my head, I can't remember what the match is, but I do know that 50% of the match can be in kind. So if we had a community member that had a
That could excavate or something. Yeah.
grade or cement or whatever, that can be part of our in kind. We've got to do some research.
Well, that's
to
would
do
need to
that.
be researched because the company that contracts to do the pickleball court is going to have certain standards on the grading, the compacting, and the pouring of concrete because it's a specialized, you know,
Mhm.
we just can't
Dig a hole.
say,
in
well,
it.
okay, we'll take, contractors, if you have any loads of cement that are left over
Yeah.
at the end of a pour, they have a
That's
pour,
not
come
good.
and we'll put it in our pickleball. Pickleball doesn't work that way. Now, the other one, the pad for the basketball could be done that way.
Leftover, yeah, from homes that are under construction.
But,
Good thought, Dennis. I
yeah.
didn't think about that.
but pickleball, there's a standard, and they have to lay tension,
The
cables
tension
so
rod
that
things.
Yeah.
it's gonna last for decades.
Well, Mike has the proposal for, it's pickleball and basketball? Or is it pickleball and the cement
Well, we
pad?
could do pickleball, basketball, and then maybe, I know we need a pad by
Yeah,
regardless. If we were able to do the basketball with the pickleball, that would be
Well,
okay
and
with
also
me, but-
remember Mike said that everybody he talked to, the city suggested you have 2 courts of the pickleball.
Right, we only have
Yeah.
2 courts, two pickleball courts.
Side by side, you know.
fenced in, no
Mhm.
lights.
Mm-mm.
But if we could get a grant, do that and put a pad down,
Mhm.
we could probably get that pad down ourselves next,
Mhm.
because that doesn't require any special,
Yeah.
painting or how it's laid.
Okay, so next week, we're making our presentation to the city council about this grant. Michelle, would you like to present? what the
Remember,
grant was all about?
I'm at a funeral.
Oh, that's right.
I'm out of town.
Okay, I'm happy to do the money part, the matching, what money the city would have to come up with, what part of our portion could be in kind. Dennis, will you, Mike's gonna do the presentation on the budget,
Right, I could take and tee it off,
okay?
start the presentation. Then we could go to hopefully we could do a PowerPoint that we have.
Okay.
It just needs to be updated according to cost. Mike is looking,
Does Mike have the PowerPoint
yeah, he has the PowerPoint.
where I could send him a few slides, actually what the grant is,
Right.
when you kick it off?
Right,
Okay.
so maybe we show what we're doing,
Who, what, when?
who, what, when, and then end up with, this is where we're gonna get the money to.
And
So the budget and then where we're gonna get the money in with that.
And I believe if it's the same procedure, the grant's not, it's not hard to write. But I think we need a letter from the mayor as well. I'll look into that. Where he said PTR has our permission, the city of Woodland Hills, to apply for this grant. I'll ask for that at the end, and hopefully it'll be an item that they'll vote on.
Right.
I have to make sure that, not just discuss, but discuss and vote,
Right.
so we can move forward.
Let's just remember that putting that pickleball court down, whoever the contractors are, they will probably not want to allow in-kind
Do you know who Summit
services
Creek
where we
used?
go and,
I don't know who they use, but I could check.
Is Ben
But-
still around, Brindley?
but that's something to look at.
I'll text
But
him right
other
now.
work that we could do, putting the path to the picnic area, a path by the picnic area, that would work well within kind.
Maybe even fencing?
Maybe fencing. If the pickleball, if whoever is doing this says, okay, well, we'll supply it with the holes, and you guys have to take care of the fencing. But
So you
that's,
put benches in, it's not, fencing
but
doesn't seem that much
anyway,
harder.
fencing is, again, that's something that they're gonna have to lay
Concrete.
concrete. Well, when they lay the concrete, they lay the holes for the fencing.
We put the benches in on the trail in holes in concrete. Just have to be able to stretch. Have to see if somebody in the community,
Yeah.
it's gonna be community outreach. Once we get approval by the city council, do you want me to put something on Facebook about who's a professional in this area? We might use for, see if we get any response. We've had quite a few new families move in, so maybe this is the time.
Yeah.
I'll put out a text right now to Ben, just ask him who the company was.
They sure did a nice job. I could even show a slide of Summit Creek's pickleball courts, because I have 2 pictures of it. They did a really good job. Okay, so we're good on our presentation for next,
For
A week,
Monday,
next
so
week.
we need to get all
No,
this
it's Tuesday.
together.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's Tuesday,
a week from today.
so we have to have PowerPoint finished
Did
by
I say
Monday
the
night.
22nd?
It'd be best not to do it Monday night,
Yeah,
so.
I'll get my slides, and I'll also give you the link to the Utah Outdoor Recreation Grant, so you can just kind
Okay.
of look at it too.
Okay, great. So if you could,
I'll do that
okay,
tonight.
any photos that you want to put into it,
Want me to
and
send
then
them to you?
make it into format it into a Word document
Okay,
for your slides. And you could just number each slide and the text that needs to go into it. Then we can copy and paste the text into the presentation.
okay.
If we decide, should I come to that meeting if we decide to come back a day early or something? I don't know what we're gonna do yet. I just don't want to take an assignment if we don't come back till,
I can always give you, I'm happy to give you what I would present.
yeah, I just don't know.
If you're
yeah, I
gonna
don't,
be here,
I don't know. I'm not,
Okay.
we haven't decided.
I
Or
think it's
we're kind of playing it by ear.
great we're all doing this together.
Okay. Well, I mean, I could come if we get it, if I get back in time,
Okay,
I could just come anyway. Just, is it right here?
Yeah.
If you want me to. I mean, I
Okay.
wouldn't be prepared for anything, but I could come if I get here in time.
love to have.
What
you.
time is the meeting?
6 is the work meeting. 7 o'clock is when they vote on things.
Okay.
So we'll be in the work meeting, and I want to make sure we're
Okay. 6 p.m.
voting as well.
Axis Excavation.
Axis?
AXIS.
Let's see, we just finished 6, done 7.
Yep.
We've done 8. We've gone over 9. Number 10, the last item of business is PTR committee member seats.
Dennis, you and Mike have verbally expressed to Michelle and I that you would like to continue. I think it's 2 years.
I'd be happy to continue, yeah.
We do have the opening for secretary, which is really kind of why Michaela's here. She and I discussed her doing this, and I said, I want you to think about it. We talked about what her duties would be, the input she would bring to the committee, and she agreed to come tonight just to kind of see what we do, and then in the future will let us know. So
All right,
that's why Michaela's here.
good. We're glad you're here, Michaela.
So you would be keeping notes of the whole meeting and typing them up so that we can, and then send them out so we know what our assignments are, and then we can vote on the agenda the next meeting. We have a record of every meeting. Also, we would be asking for input. You know,
And she,
Ideas.
secretary gets to vote. She has a vote, or the position of secretary has a vote. I expressed to Michaela, she also sends the agenda and the approved minutes to Jody, so she can publish them on the city's website, because we are an official committee. Do you have any questions?
Third of it is gone.
It's okay. Think about it. Let us know. If you
Well-
wish to express an opinion tonight, that'd be great. If you don't, that's great too, because we're
We
gonna do
usually
another
meet
meeting.
once a month. And sometimes, we don't, but we probably meet 7 or 8 times a year,
At
maybe.
the most, yeah. We didn't meet in December because we're all busy, and we usually only meet when we really have things that we're
Yeah.
working on, and which does go back to the item of the budget. The city is supposed to maintain the trail. They've never really allocated any funds to do that, but it is somewhere. There are policies, procedures. I don't know if it's in the ordinance pertaining to the trail, but they should maintain it. I've had an idea that I've thought about for myself, particularly with all the trees falling down and the fires in California. I think it's either the county or the state will give you a grant of goats on your property that eat the ladder fuel, which helps to prevent forest fires. So I don't know if the city would be agreeable into looking at something like that in terms of maintenance. Or I don't know if that would be considered bait for cougars and,
Oh, yeah. Where would you mean?
well, we could take it in chunks, do the first and second switchback in a year.
But how do you fence those goats in?
Fencing around the trees, I think that's part of the grant. That's what I've heard. But, I don't know, just an idea that we had, and we can get DNR involved in the upper section. If they would throw what they clear into the ravine where the avalanche keeps coming down, making the ravine bigger and wider. I don't know if you've looked up lately, but it's definitely getting wider. It would help with the avalanche coming down, if there's more debris down. So we need to approach the city about how do they propose to maintain the trail. Because Utah Outdoor Recreation Grant money Well, shoot Brian an email and see what he thinks.
When I was up there in the fall, around the cave, it seems to me there was a lot of debris, trees up there that had fallen down.
Whoever's clearing up there throws them on my property.
They throw them on your property? That's not-
It's part of it.
the whole thing is dead ground.
Who would be clearing that? Why would somebody be?
But there's also the grant that Ted has gotten. I think it's 50/50. If it's like the extra chipping, with the city, they only had to pay 50% of it. It's part of a grant, and he's renewing that as well. And that is available to the citizens of Woodland Hills to use the city's, you could use anybody, but I chose to use the city fire people, and have them cut for me. And then I paid half of their bill, and the grant paid the other.
Oh.
So that could be available up above as well, but the city has to make that a priority to use the money in that way. So there are options to, I haven't been up lately, but I think I'm snowshoeing a couple days. Well, it should be pretty well packed down. but snowshoes. So that's all I had on maintenance.
Alrighty.
Okay,
Any,
well, no other business?
Nope.
Anybody have a motion, we adjourn?
yes, let's decide on our next meeting first.
Oh,
okay.
next meeting.
February 18th.
I will be gone February 18th and March 18th through
Okay.
the end of March.
So you're gone the end of March.
I'm
or
gone,
sorry, 18th.
I'm leaving February 13th and I'll be back probably at first week of April.
Oh, where do you guys go? I knew you
Where it's
did that.
warm.
Yeah.
We're going to Tahiti.
Oh, are you? All
Oh, I
that
was
time?
gonna say you
Via
have
Hawaii
Zoom,
and.
but-
Oh, yeah.
It's a cruise. I've never been on a
Oh,
cruise.
that's a long cruise.
Well, I've been on, not cruises like that. You know,
Good for you guys.
small ship cruises.
You don't have to
where-
show up when they ring the dinner bell.
All right.
Okay, so that leaves Dennis out for the 18th. When are you coming back? The end of March.
Yeah,
So should we meet the 18th of February to try to keep this ordinance moving along through planning?
yes. I think
You wanna
that's
Yeah,
good.
tentatively?
and kind of find out. By then we'll know what went on in January.
Yeah.
So February what? 18th?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
All in
all in
favor?
favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.